the traveling. You know what results will come up with going there. Up north.
Exactly.
So you're gonna come back here, and you've just traveled on a Sunday night. Then you're playing in Cape Town on Wednesday evening. The fatigue, it's gonna get to the players.
Yeah.
Rasmus Højlund, thunderous. It's an absolute net buster.
Hello and welcome to the Diski Preview show. It's another week, it's another dollar, it's another game that we're going to be talking about. Last week we got some big feedback from you guys. Some of you guys coming at me and coming at the team and saying, do more research so you can speak more factually about the games you guys are talking about. So we've heard you, and we've gone out and we've expanded the team to get a few more experts, a few more analysts to come into the picture and also give their insights and their perspective on the games we're talking about. Welcome to the Diski Preview show, brought to you by Betfred. And don't forget, speaking of Betfred, if you want to join us, make sure to visit betfred.co.za. We have an offer up there that says if you join today and you make a deposit of up to 5,000 Rand, we will match that 100%, and you might get yourself up to 500 free spins. So make sure to visit Betfred for more information. As you know, my name is Mo, and I'm joined by our latest addition to the team. You know Utisha Wetisk, you know Mr. E, you know Mo. This is a legendary figure in the game of football. Not only has he played the sport, not only has he been involved in the grassroots level of the sport, not only has he been the guy the next day, but he's now working also behind the scenes, dealing ama odds of the beautiful game. So let's meet him today. Len, how are you, Chief?
Yeah, how's it, guys? Thanks for having me on the show. It's my first time here, and I hope to be having fun today while we tackle all the Champions League reviews from last week and the upcoming matches for this weekend's second legs.
All right, don't forget, if you want to see more people like this on the platform, like, subscribe, and share. You're going to be seeing him a lot more often after today. But let's get into the conversation about you first before we start talking about the game itself.
Yes.
That are coming up this weekend. Where did your journey with football start?
I started playing soccer like I was 8, I think. Soccer's always been my life. If I'm not watching news, I'm watching football. Then later in life, I joined the sports betting industry, which was based on my love for soccer since I never made it professionally. So just to be part of the game, I joined sports betting in 2006. Then I've been in the game throughout, and also I'm now running a football team based in Davidson called Amavula Vala Sports Project, trying to groom Amachita from Ekasi and hoping that Nabo bazozithola abavele TV.
So you guys will be playing in Nabo Junior Kanya, those, because I know about Junior also have teams that side.
Yes, they organize tournaments. There's a big ground called the Mabuya. Yeah, he also hosted an Easter tournament there.
All right, so tell us about your journey now in sports betting. Where did it start, and how did you get to this point where you joined the Betfred family?
I've been in the game, like I said, since 2006. Before everything was automated, we were doing everything manually. The tickets were printed there. I was a cashier. From cashier, I went to admin clerk, where we made fixtures. Started learning more and more about odds and different sports, not just soccer. And then with time, I grew into trading, which is what I'm enjoying. I've been doing this for the last few years, and I've joined one of the big teams, Betfred. Thanks for welcoming me, guys. And let's hope for a long, fruitful relationship.
All right, so now you've worked on both sides you've played the sport, you've worked on the odd side of the game.
Yes.
What do you look for when you're looking at teams for your own enjoyment? Obviously, you're a fan of the sport. So when you sit down, you say, I'm going to watch this game, whether it's a Champions League game or a Premier League game or a Premier Soccer League game. What are you looking for? What is the thing that catches your eye?
What I've learned is, firstly, yes, it's the fixture itself, like who's playing who. Yes, call it a Soweto derby, for instance. You can't just go and say, yes, I support Chiefs or I support Pirates, and you toss your money in there hoping something will happen. You go and study which team is on form, which players are injured, which players are available. Are they having a new coach? Is this a totally new setup? All those things come into play before you put your money on any tickets. So, yes, you have to do a background check. Don't just say you support a team or you hate a team, you're going to back against them. Form counts. The weather counts. That also counts. If a game is being played in Sea Point, Cape Town, it's not the same as Orlando Stadium. That will affect the inland teams.
All right, let's get straight into the conversation. Don't forget, we're talking all things CAF Champions League. Last week, first legs, Pirates was involved. Stellenbosch was involved, Kukune was involved, and of course, Mamelodi Sundowns was involved. So this week we're talking about second leg fixtures in the CAF Champions League. Stay tuned, and don't forget, if you want to share your thoughts on anything we have to say, the comment section is all yours. And don't forget, if you like this content, share it, like it, and definitely subscribe to the channel. We start our conversation, obviously, with the big game itself. We're starting with Mbabane Swallows versus Mamelodi Sundowns. Right, welcome back to the show. Like I said, just before we took that little break, we are now talking about the second leg of the big games that took place last weekend. It's Mbabane Swallows versus Mamelodi Sundowns. You can tell Guti Sundowns is stuck on my tongue, like everybody in this country.
Yeah, it's on everyone's lips.
All right, so let's start first of all by getting your thoughts on the first leg. A big result, 4-0.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts around that?
Okay, firstly, it was a home game. It was an away game at home for Sundowns.
Yes.
So, yeah, the whole of Pretoria flocked to Masterpieces Moripe. Okay, going into that match, looking at the lineup and how they played, okay, this team, I think Mbabane Swallows came here knowing that their main job was to limit the number of goals conceded. Not that they were hoping to win. And Sundowns didn't even take the foot off the pedal from the onset. If you're going to start a match with Ribeiro, with Ekram Reyners, it means your intention is to go and punish the other team, which is what they did. Okay, what we saw on the Sundown side is the new combinations. I think Mangoba is on the right track with his combinations, especially in attack, because goals were coming from everywhere. Libusa scored. We scored from set pieces. I think we're getting a lot more penalties. It means we're putting more attack going forward. I think the guys did well there. Going to the second leg, I think Mbabane is just going to try and limit the number of goals again. But play-wise, they were outclassed. You could see the gulf in quality between the two sides. It's not that they did anything wrong, but the levels are not the same. So at the moment, I think they were just happy to have played Sundowns. It's an achievement in itself, coming to think of it.
So you think going into the second leg is more about damage control rather than trying to show? I mean, let's talk
putting
about
up a fight.
Yeah, let's talk about the individual experience for the players. I mean, you play against the Sundowns in one of in Africa's biggest competition. Do you not think that players are trying to stand out? Maybe I can get a goal and Sundowns will see me and I could possibly get a move to South Africa.
If I could mention, there was a guy Baruti, if I remember his surname correctly. There were a few players individually. It's exposure for them, playing against Sundowns, being shown on TV.
Playing on the CAF Champions League.
In the CAF Champions League, there's other countries that can see you. You go to Tanzania, you can go to the west of Africa. I think it was good exposure individually for the players. Yes, and also for the team itself. Like, a lot of people didn't know Mbabane Swallows. It's not a new team, but a lot of people didn't know about it. Going forward, it can only get better for them. Not all is lost. Yes.
So what do you spoke about the combinations up front, Abo Reyners and Ribeiro. So we do know that the big conversation has been Mangoba is not making this team gel. The players are not playing the way they were playing last season. Do you think that what you saw in the week in the CAF Champions League is a step forward for Sundowns, or do you think it's a step back?
I think it's a step forward because we can't rely on what the old coach was doing. Mangoba is to come with his blueprint, and I think he's getting it right. He rested some of the guys on the weekend, yesterday as well. So I think he's trying different combinations, but at the end of the day, I think it's up to the players to try and impress the coach so that you can be in the starting lineup, because it's under a new regime now. You can't expect the same style, the same treatment. So I think going forward, he's a disciplinarian. He knows most of these guys personally. He's been in the setup the whole time. Yeah. So going forward, I think Sundowns is on the right track. Watching the last two matches, I can say they're dangerous.
All right. So we're obviously talking all things CAF Champions League, and now I just want to look into the distant future of this tournament. Obviously, it's just been a first leg. It's a 4-0 win.
Yes.
Do you think at this point in time, this competition is taking shape to favor the big boys once again, where we're going to see, your Casablancas, the usual suspects making it through to the end? Do you think that it's starting to shape up like that right now at this early stage?
After the first legs of this round on the last weekend, I think it's going back to the traditional teams. Yeah, we saw Al Ahly. They were cruising, and all these teams are cruising away from home. So at the moment, there's still a big difference between the leagues in Africa, but it can only get better with these teams participating every year in the preliminaries. Hopefully, some of them make it to the groups, because that's how football is. It's never predictable. So it is good for the for the young teams which are coming up, but also I don't think the big boys will be relaxed, because they are competing amongst themselves as well. Everyone's chasing Al Ahly at the end of the day.
Yes, at this moment,
you got Sundowns, you got Raja, you got Zamalek in your confed, but everyone is chasing Al Ahly. So everyone will be pulling up their socks and trying to. Sundowns want to go back to the finals again. They haven't been in the final, and you saw what happened with the old coach for not making it there.
Yeah.
So everyone is trying to improve from where they were. And also going to the Club World Cup next year, everyone wants to up their level to participate against the South Americans and the Europeans.
All right, so let's go straight into your prediction. I just want to know, before you do go into your prediction, is there anything that I maybe didn't ask you right now that you would like to mention about that game in particular? Is Swallows and Sundowns?
The first leg.
Yeah.
Yes, the first leg, which is already what I said. I don't have the names of the players already, but there were a few players that you could see from Mbabane Swallows that can play in our PSL.
Yes.
So what I'm going to say is, to the Mbabane Swallows technical team, not all is lost. You guys fared well, and you made a good name for your team.
All right, so let's go into your prediction now. What do you think is going to happen in this second leg?
I see Mangoba ringing in changes, because Sundowns have a tight schedule as usual.
Yeah.
But whoever's coming in will be going out there to impress the coach. So I would say, yes, we know Sundowns is going to win. Looking at the number of goals, Jesus, playing in Pretoria, I see another 4 or more goals coming from Sundowns.
All right, thank you so much for that prediction. Stay tuned as we go into the second match. I'll tell you right now, it's Orlando Pirates. They're in action. You want to know who they play? Well, they're playing Galaxy FC. Right, if you're just joining us, don't forget you can click on the previous chapter to learn more about Ulen, who's now joining the team as our latest analyst for a Diski Preview show. Or you can click on the chapter after that, where we talk more about Mbabane Swallows versus Mamelodi Sundowns. Don't forget, Sundowns is the home team. I keep saying it in that order for some reason. And now we're talking about, obviously, Orlando Pirates, who are taking on Jwaneng Galaxy FC. We made a lot of spiel about how Jwaneng Galaxy knocked
last season.
Yeah, he knocked the Pirates out last season, and then they came into this game and Pirates had made a statement. I think before we get into the conversation about Jwaneng and Pirates in the first leg, what do you think of Pirates' start to this season? Jose Riviero's start to this season so far. MTN 8, CAF Champions League, and obviously he's going to kick off in the PSL. But let's talk about those two competitions. What do you think of his start so far?
I like what I've seen. It takes you back to the Pirates that we know.
Yeah.
Transition came from the center. They are unstoppable. They got creative midfielders. One plus for them is they are finishing this season. They are finishing. They've always played well, but they are finishing. Goals come from Hoto. You got Mabasa on fire. I think they're on the right track. I'm just worried about one thing.
Okay.
Their starting lineup is predictable.
Okay.
It's the same players over and over. Yes, it's only been 3-4 matches. But you're playing Africa, you're playing MTN, now you're going to play the league. Okay, we'll see what they're going to use, who they're going to use in the league. I was just worried about that, because it's the usual suspects, and teams get to understand, if you're using the same players, that this is how we stop them.
Yeah.
But they are on fire. I watched them against Cape Town City, the 2 legs. I watched the 2-0 win. They're unstoppable. They're unstoppable this season.
Do you think that it's a question of squad depth in terms of certain positions, like who's going to come in for Saleng, who's going to come in for Mofokeng?
Yeah, I think on certain positions they've got the players, especially in midfield and your wing backs.
Yeah.
They've got at least 3 quality players in each of those positions. I'm just concerned on when are they going to rotate
those players.
Yes, because for me, I think maybe on the Jwaneng match, it was the pressure of being knocked out by Jwaneng. So they stuck to the tried and tested. They didn't give other players a chance. Going forward, I hope they start doing that, because you're going to need depth. You're playing in Africa. You're playing the local domestic tournaments. You're playing the league. you're gonna need to rotate your players. There's injuries, there's fatigue, there's loss of form. So I think that's the only thing. But right now, I don't know who's gonna stop Pirates.
So let's go into the Jwaneng Galaxy and Orlando Pirates first leg. Obviously, a lot of talk was around the fact that Jwaneng had knocked out the Pirates before.
Yes.
The Pirates came in, they made sure they won the game. What was the different strategy this year versus last year when you're looking at that the comparison?
Okay, watching the match in the first half.
Yeah.
It was a tight game. It could have gone either way.
Yes.
Until the experience of Pirates kicked in, the crucial time of the game, just before halftime. That's when Pirates scored. It changes the whole team talk at halftime.
Of course.
Because if it was 0-0, we'd say, okay, guys, let's stick to this.
Yes.
But now you're trailing 1-0 at home. I think that's where they had a problem. Now they had to chase that one goal, and then they opened up at the back. Pirates score again.
Yeah.
So that's what I think was the biggest factor. But overall play on the pitch, I wouldn't say Pirates outclassed them or outplayed them.
Yes.
It was a tight game.
Yes.
But the experience of Pirates, the class of Pirates, won them the match.
I believe this was the first match where Pirates were away and they actually managed to keep a clean sheet and win the game.
Yes.
Because against Disciples, they did struggle. They came back with a draw. And I believe against Cape Town City, it was the same situation where they played away and they came back with a draw.
Win at home.
They had to win at home. So is this a turning point in the season where we're now seeing a Pirates comfortable away from home as well?
I think they have matured like that. I think the coach understands African football better with this being his third season. He understands what he has to do just to win that match. I don't think they played the same way they would have played, or they are going to play in Orlando.
Yes.
But they did the right things first, which
Yeah.
was winning the game, collecting the 3 points. Everything else will have fun in Orlando. I think that's how they were planning to do this.
So the second leg, obviously, Galaxy away this time.
Yes.
And they failed to keep it clean at home. They failed to win the game. Now that they come into Orlando Stadium, what do you think they want to implement differently from the first leg?
It's too late to defend. Whether they will,
Can't sit back.
Yeah, whether they're gonna concede 6 or not, they'll be out either way.
Yeah.
They have to go all out and give it their all. I think they've got a good coach in Morebuli. He understands South African players, South African football. He's coached Bafana Bafana at Orlando Stadium. He understands everything that we do. But does he have the quality to take Pirates on? That's the only thing I don't think they have.
And that's the thing. You spoke earlier on about the gulf in quality when we were talking about Swallows versus Sundowns.
Yes.
Do you think there's the same story here where the gulf in quality between what Botswana had to offer and what South Africa had to offer is two different spheres of football?
I think there is a gap between Jwaneng and Pirates, but I think Jwaneng gave it a bigger fight than Mbabane against Sundowns.
Yes.
I think also the hype created by the coach in the players' minds that we're not scared of Pirates.
Yes, we've done this last season.
Yes, and even going to the second leg, he says it's not over. What if Jwaneng scores first? Anything can happen. It's a wide open game because now Pirates doesn't know how to defend. It's not their style of play. So what happens if Jwaneng scores first?
Yes, they're going to open up a lot more trying to get more goals.
Yes. And then you'll never know what happens. They can get a penalty. That's what happens in football.
Yeah.
So the game is not over, but because of Pirates being at home, the crowd is it's a different game. But they mustn't go the relaxed thinking it's over.
Are you right now, because we're going to get into the prediction later, but are you of the opinion that we must expect a more intense second leg in this fixture?
I think it's going to be open.
Yeah.
Southern African teams are not defensive. So Jwaneng will come out and play.
Yes.
Yeah, whether they lose 4-0 or 6-0, they'll still be out.
Yes.
So if they score first, that's what I'm worried about. That changes the whole match.
So let's talk about Jose Riviero at this moment in time, because the opportunity, was the moment Rulani left Sundowns. Then came the conversation that Pirates are the next heirs for the PSL trophy. You understand? Conversation has been one where they said, no, if this Sundowns falls, that means this must happen.
Yes.
Which means Pirates will
is
rise.
the next king, yeah.
I know it's not part of the context of this conversation, but do you not think that this conversation should include Stellenbosch?
Not yet.
Not with what you've seen so far this season.
No, Stellenbosch are playing well, but they're selling their best players to the competition.
Yes, and they're still playing well.
Yes. So I don't think their target is the same as Pirates' target. Pirates' target is winning the league.
Yes.
Or winning in Africa.
Yes.
But these guys I think they'll still be happy finishing in the top 4.
That's Stellenbosch.
That's Stellenbosch. I think they'll still be happy if they make the last 16
Yes.
in Africa. They're not at that level yet. I think we still have the big two. Everyone else,
Which
still
is Pirates and Sundowns.
Pirates and Sundowns. I think everyone else still has to fight for, because everyone is inconsistent. Yeah, in this league.
I mean, last season we came into the new year, and I believe we had Cape Town City in second.
Yes.
And then by February, we had Super Sports in second.
Yes. And that happens with only 3 matches being played. One team wins 3 matches in a row. They look like a good thing.
They sit there.
Yes, and then they disappear later, which is also the depth, the consistency, which is lacking in other teams. So those teams are selling to Pirates and Sundowns, who are their direct competition. So if Ekrem Reyners has scored 2 goals for Sundowns, he can only do better going forward. And he's got the supply.
Yeah.
But the boys that he left behind still have to be groomed. They're not at that level yet.
So back to the conversation about the CAF Champions League. Now let's talk about, we mentioned in the first part, the second part of this clip, when we were talking about the Swallows and Sundowns, the big boys themselves settling into a groove and getting into that rhythm. Can we include Pirates in the conversation in the same breath as El Ahly, as Zamalek, as Young Africans at this point, as the Sundowns?
I would give it another 5 matches, all competitions combined. I want to see the depth. In Africa, you need to have depth. I don't care how many what kind of stars you have. If you don't have the numbers in quality, you're going to have a problem. The traveling, you know what results will come up with going there up north.
Exactly.
So you're going to come back here and you've just traveled on a Sunday night, then you're playing in Cape Town on Wednesday evening. The fatigue, it's going to get to the players.
Yeah.
So I think Pirates need to rotate that squad.
Yeah.
But is it easy to do that? We don't know.
Is the quality there?
Yes, because you have to look at that bench. Is that bench ready to stand up and be counted? I think that the next 6 games will tell us in all competitions combined for Pirates.
All right, so let's move on down to your prediction. Obviously, we've covered a lot in this chapter of the clip. Don't forget, if you want to hear more about the Swallows and Sundowns game, previous chapter, all you need to do is just check, select, go back. But now let's talk about it. Your prediction for this game. Obviously, first leg, Orlando Pirates won it away. Will they win it again at home?
I see Pirates winning it. The crowd factor, the lead already is working in their favor. The form that they are in, like I said, they are unstoppable right now. So I see Pirates cruising in this one. 3 goals maybe.
All right.
But I don't give Jwaneng a chance. But you'll never know. This is football.
All right, so let's get into a quick prediction recap so we can just wrap this one up. So let's start Swallows and Sundowns versus Swallows. I got it right that time.
Sundowns and Mbabane Swallows. Sundowns 4-0 or more goals, whichever squad they're using.
All right, and then let's go into the second one, which is Orlando Pirates facing
Orlando
Jwaneng.
Pirates should win. Because they're playing at home, I'd give them a 3-goal cushion from the onset. They should win this easy.
Yeah.
Yes, they are on fire. That's the current informed team Mzansi.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. We hope to see you again soon. Don't forget a new addition to the team. If you want to hear more about him and his journey with the beautiful game, go to the first chapter of this clip to hear his journey from going as a player, as a coach, as a team owner, all the way into sports betting. For now, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you again next week. Don't forget, this week we've got PSL, we've got CAF Champions League, we've got Premier League, the Champions League is in, and next week we've got the Europa League where Manchester United will be featuring at the moment, and also have EFL Cup. There's enough football to go around for everybody.
Every day.
Every day. Whether you like Chinese leagues, whether you like top 5 European leagues, South American leagues are also going on. I saw that
there's Copa Libertadores, there's CAF Champions League. If you're a football loving fan, this is the season.
There's everything for you right there. Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody. See you next time.